So this particular Nvidia stocks over here made me almost 50% capital increase during the months of between April and June. And how I did this, how I was able to spot the move, both technically and fundamentally. These are some of the things I'm going to be revealing in the upcoming Soft Edge mentorship course. So it is a course that's going to teach you how to trade and also how to invest in crypto and stocks, and not how to invest the way you already know, but from a technical point of view, how to spot out entry, very good entry, points on the charts. Okay, so that's from a technical point of view. So if you are interested in this course, basically all you need to do is just for you to follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel, okay, and you can also follow me on TikTok. If you want to send me a DM, you can do that on TikTok. Just check the link below this video. You are going to see the link to a WhatsApp channel and also the link to my TikTok. And you can send me a DM, and you'll be added to a private WhatsApp group, and you get to know when we are starting this course. So a whole lot of things. Now, let's get into the video. The reason why we are here today, which is talking about the Bitcoin bull run. Now, we're going to be looking into Bitcoin from a technical point of view. Now, if you know me, if you've been following for some time, you will see that you understand that I am not a news trader. Okay, I trade what I see on the charts because, from my personal experience, what I've come to understand about trading is that before the news speaks, the chart will always speak. So I focus more on what the candle is saying on the chart. So I'm a mechanical and technical trader. I don't follow news a lot. I follow what I see right there on the chart. So if you want to trade like me, or you want to know how I trade exactly, unfiltered, uncut, just try to get into that soft end mentorship, and you get to know. And a lot of things I'm going to be sharing there, not just technicals, not just how to trade, but every single week we're going to be dropping very clean, neat signals, okay, on what I'm going to be trading for the following week, my entry, my exits, and definitely there's going to be a group where you guys are going to be giving updates and follow-ups on those trades as well. And the trade is not just going to be Forex, okay. A lot is going to be Forex, but we're also going to be having trades on crypto and also stocks, just like I said. So that being said, let's see what Bitcoin has. Now, the question on everybody's mind is Bitcoin still going to pump? Is the bull run over? Blah blah blah, stuff like that. Well, let's before I do anything, let's go to the monthly charts. Now, as you guys know, I love clean charts. I don't like too much lines and drawing because it's not good for psychology, it's not good for the mind. So you need to keep your charts clean. And trust me, how to do all those things, how to hack your mind to this extent is what I'm going to be revealing in those courses. So if we go back to the monthly, let me just remove every drawing over here. Okay. So if we go back to the monthly chart, what we can see, before I talk about what is happening right now, let me talk about what has been before. Because one thing about crypto, one thing about market cycle is that history will always repeat itself. All right. It might not be an exact pattern, but it might be the same kind of move, the same kind of cycle. So let's look at what happened in the previous bull run. Now, in the previous bull run, we saw that at this level, okay, after, let me move this here. So after this match, if you can remember, during this March crisis, okay, and where the market dipped, okay, after telling us that we were thinking that bull run has begun, okay, and all of a sudden the market started going down, and we later saw the market going up. Now, there's one thing I want us to understand. You see, institution in crypto, we also have, just like in forex where we have institutional buyers. In crypto, we also have the guys, with big guys we call the whales. Now, the whales, they don't do the day trading you and I do. They buy at certain points and they sell at certain points. So they're actually the movers and the shakers of the crypto market. Now, what the whales did was that they pumped the price all the way to this level. Then they started selling down to this level, okay, and took out every single person that were buying, throughout this level, and added to their liquidity. Then they started pumping the market again to the final stage of the bull run, which was this level, which was the previous all-time high, before the market now went started crashing downwards all the way down to this level over here, which was the depth of the bear market. Now, what happened there was that before the last move, there was a drop. But before that drop, there was the first move. So we had the first move, drop, last move. So from experience, even if you go back to the previous, though the data is not shown here, but even if you go back to the previous bull run, you see that every single bull run had the first pump before a 50 or 50, 60, 50% dip, then before the major bull run. So how do we know if we've had that dip already? Now, this is where the Fibonacci tool now come in handy. Okay, now you can measure this from this area. You say, okay, um this is the 50% level, this is the premium, this is the discount and premium. Now these are some of the things I'm going to be teaching in that mentorship back to back, and you get to understand how I set my Fibonacci and why I set it the way I set it. Okay, looking at this like this, you might not understand why I'm setting it this way. So we can see that the market came back and retraced into the premium. This is where the mega banks buy. This is where the banks in Forex, this is where the banks buy. This is where those that are movers and the shakers of the market buy. So it came back then before it made the major move. Now let's now look back into let's now look into what is happening right now. Now, if we want to measure this, some people will want to measure this from this area, but I don't think this is not that I don't think it's not correct. Now, this is where you should measure from. Now, how to measure this also is what I'm going to be teaching in that mentorship. So you need to be in that mentorship because, man, I'm going to be revealing everything uncut and raw. So if you measure this from this area, you see that we'll actually retrace back into that 50% level, which is where the big bag started buying. So this area right here is actually where the big bags or the wave started buying back again. That's why we saw this push over again. So what it will now happen, okay? What people want to know now is what is going to happen since we already have this push down into the 50% box, just the way we had this push down into this 50% box. What is going to happen now? Well, what I think is going to happen is before I tell you what I think is going to happen, let's go back again and do something. Now, let's draw a trend line because the markets. Now, I'll pick this one over here. So because the market is all about trend, okay? I don't normally use trend line for exits or exiting or entering trade, but I use it to follow a trend. And how I do that too, I'm going to be sharing it in my mentorship. So you need to be there. So let's lock this. Now, what I think is going to happen is that the market is going to range within this level. There's a trend up here. If we go down to the 4 hour time frame, guys, if you subscribe to this channel if you um, love our content. So if you go to the 4 hour time frame now, what's this guy here is just blocking me. Okay, yeah, stay there. Yeah. So if you down to the 4 hour time frame, now this is where it gets tricky. How to draw the trend line, all right? So basically, what I want to do is to do something like this. But if you look at it, you see that this thing is too steep. So what you want to do is just to maintain something like this. Now, people still don't know how to draw trend line. Some people want to draw this trend line and they're going to be confused how to draw it. But I will tell you why I drew this trend line like this in that mentorship as we go. So you have to intersect the two of them over here. Then go back. Let's go down to daily. I love trading crypto and all this thing from a high time frame because it gives you clearer um, direction and more defined zones. So if you let's look this. So if you look at this, this is basically what's going to happen in the coming days. We are going to see the markets. Okay, we're going to see the markets. The market is going to keep ranging on this level. Now, when we know how to know when the second move I talked about is going to happen is when we break this trend line over here, because this is a trend line that's going to hold the market down for some time. So once we break this trend line over here, then the market will now create the final push. Now the question now is the final push. Where is Bitcoin going to go? Let's go to the weekly time frame. The answer to that question is nobody really knows. That's just the truth. But one thing I want you to take notes in the future when we finally break this trend line is this particular green line over here. Any day you see us break close on the weekly time frame below this trend line, just know that the bull run has ended, brothers and sisters. Forget what the media will be telling you by then. Just know that the bull run has ended. Because if you also go back to the past, let me just show you the example so that you understand what I'm saying. That's why I came to the weekly time frame. Guys, there's a lot of things I want to show you on the charts in the crypto and forex industry, and you are not going to get them by just watching my from time to time YouTube videos. You need to be in a mentorship program with me. So now, if you go back to time, the previous bull run. Now let's remove these ones over here. You can mark this out on your chart if you want. Now let's go back. Um, let's take this trend because this one created another high. So this is where our trend line is going to be. People say trend line don't work. Well, I think it works, but I use it mostly for monitoring the direction. Not I don't use it for MTRZ. Now, as you can see over here, history will always repeat itself. Now, when the first move occurred, okay, then the retracement also occurred right here, which is what we just completed in the current cycle. Then the last move pumped all the way, created all time. Everybody was like, "Oh, Bitcoin is going to $100,000." Then market started retracing. Then my fellow YouTube gurus, so-called gurus, were like, let's buy the dip, buy the dip. I was just laughing. I remember telling people that the bull run was over. People should start selling, but people kept buying. Now, what happened? You see this particular week over here, that was the signal that the bull run has ended when Bitcoin closed on this weekly time frame below this trend line with a very sharp move. That was the signal that the market has ended. What did the market do then? It went up, retested that trend line one, two, three, and boom. That was just it. That was final. So the same way that trend line I drew over here, you can draw it on your charts. The day we cross that trend line, okay, that is the day that the bull run has ended. But in the meantime, what I think is going to happen, the market is going to range within those two trend line I drew. And once we see a breakout, that would be the final move of Bitcoin. Where it's going to head to, I don't know. But all you need to do is to follow that trend line I drew for you. So, guys, this is basically what is going to happen in Bitcoin or what is happening with Bitcoin right now. So, from the technical aspect, I don't know what is going to happen. Elon Musk might wake up tomorrow and say Bitcoin is king and we'll go to 200K. I don't know. All right, but I only trade what I see on the chart. So, guys, if you want to be part of that mentorship, like I said, just subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, on TikTok, sorry. Join our WhatsApp channel, send me a DM on TikTok, and yeah, book your spots. And once we begin, you will get to see how I trade. And also, I'll be sharing, like I said, tips on how to invest in crypto from the technical aspect. We're picking coins, not irregular meme coins, but coins that actually printing something good on the charts, and also stocks. I'm also going to be showing the platform that I use for investing in stocks, my own platform I use investing in. So US stocks, Nasdaq, Chinese stocks, Japanese stocks, any stocks you can invest in that platform. You don't need too much amount of money. Even with $50, $20, you can invest in stocks right here in Nigeria. So guys, that is all for this video, and do have a lovely new week. All right, see you and stay blessed.